So just as a quick little visual, we're going to be using algebra tiles every once in a while just to kind of visually give you an example so your eyes can actually see it. So as I said, we're going to be multiplying binomials times binomials, and we're going to be taking a look at how we're going to distribute them with a FOIL method or a box method here in a second. But visually speaking, we can kind of represent some of these different things using tiles. So x's are these long rectangular tiles. Sometimes we have positive x's or negative x's. Constants like 1s and 2s and 3s are going to be little small boxes like these guys. And then anytime you have an x squared, we're going to be considering them to be this big, huge box that's an x by x. So x times x is x squared. So we are going to be multiplying an x plus 1. So there is our x, and there's our plus 1. And we're going to multiply that times an x minus 2. So there's our x, and there's our minus 2 of them. And all we got to do is take these little boxes and rectangles and little tiny squares and put them in here to fill up all the little gaps. So that x times an x right here is going to be an x squared. So we'll fill it up with a big box. Then we're going to basically be multiplying things like this x times a negative 1, or this x times that negative 1, and so on. But those are going to need to be filled up with rectangles to make sure those spaces are filled. And same thing with another one down there to make sure that space is filled. And then with constants, when you're multiplying constants times other constants, like 1 times 1, we're going to get a 1. 1 times 1, we're going to get a 1. So those little tiny boxes are going to be these little itsy bitsy squares. And then you can just tally up what you have all together. So again, this is our x squared here. So we have a total of an x squared. We got a negative x and a negative x, and then we have a positive x. So those can cancel out, but we'll have a negative x left over. So negative x left over. And then we have 2 of these little negative 2's. So we have a negative 2. So if I were to multiply this or FOIL it, which I'm going to tell you in a second what it means, or distribute the x to both of them and distribute the 1 to both of them, it's kind of like a distribution property I'm going to show you in a minute. All of that's going to multiply out to be that. So visually speaking, we can do these things, but again, for most people, they'd rather actually do just the mathematics because those visual representations can get quite lengthy. So just wanted to show that to you, introduce it to you, but beyond that, we're not going to be really working with them very much, if at all.